life, I've been a performer, a musician, beloved and celebrated by all. But I have a secret. I'm also a playground for sprites and spirits and worse. The voice that rings inside me now is darker than any that came before. Almost caused a bunch of my fans to rip each other to pieces. But you can trust me. I've got this under control. Step 1. Find out who or what is trying to take control of my mind. Step 2. Make it sorry it ever tried.
What's this? I found something.
I've spotted a trap. Careful, I've spotted a trap.
Careful now, that's a trap.
She's doing, but it doesn't look good. body is fresh. Were they a sorcerer? The void is strong here. Even the stone is infected. The void is strong here. Even the stone is infected.
The spirit tugs and tugs at the source collar around his neck, though it budges not an inch.
We couldn't. I couldn't. Is it really our fault? The void woken.
He gives you a look full of hope, then remembers the collar round his neck and slumps forward, letting his hands hang heavy by his sides. The spirit of the dwarven battle mage gazes upon the mutilated body that once housed her. As you approach, she turns confused eyes on you. She gazes deeply into your eyes, uncomprehending. Then she stares, and you feel yourself drawn into the mesmerizing source pools of her eyes. With a jolt, her life flashes before your eyes. You become her in her prime, battling a felled magister in a deserted clearing. Electricity crackles from your fingers as you advance upon the magister. The magister is part of something dark, something cruel, something that goes against the very fabric of your being. All bets are off. Merciless, you attack her with spell and blade. As her warm blood spurts to cover your face, you are sated. A satiety you would never speak of, a satiety that momentarily fills the emptiness within you. Wait, who are you? You can't remember. You are thrust out of the spirit's memories and back into your own sovereign mind. You see the spirit of the dwarven battle mage before you, eyes downcast now. You shift uncomfortably as the wagon traverses a patch of bumpy ground. The magisters haven't removed your shackles, even though there's nowhere to run. You sigh and gaze outward. The landscape rolls past, empty and still. But then you see something flying close to the horizon. Several things, in fact. You peer closer. What are those? Birds? Your eyes widen as they draw nearer. Those aren't birds. You turn around to shout a warning, but it's too late.
Good gods! What?
The dwarf rocks on her haunches, gnawing at her own bloody knuckles. Her wet, fearful eyes flick to you. She lowers her fist just enough to hiss a warning.
Away! Away! Too noisy! It'll come back! It'll take me too!
She shrinks into the fetal position.
It'll come back! It'll come back! It'll come back! It'll come back!
Your efforts draw an expression of eerie calm. She stares up at you, wide-eyed.
You'll see for yourself. They take us for food. They take us for food for their sport. They'll take you too.
Her stillness dissolves. Trembling, she curls herself into a whimpering ball and shuts you out. You sought escape, but something stalked you. You fled. It followed. You came across a pile of bones. In that moment, you knew that this would be your fate. An ancient memory overwhelms you. You are no longer you, but you still sense source saturating the air, more than you have ever felt before. You watch a figure stride through a cavern of amethyst and rose quartz. A man. No light touches this place, yet the stones and minerals illuminate his way. The man approaches a pearl sphere atop a pedestal. He lays his hands upon it, and source rushes through his fingers, and you are thrust back into reality. The memory fades, but you still sense the source the man has commanded, as if you'd possessed it for yourself. You lose yourself in an ancient vision. As the man you saw before touches the pearl orb, you begin to feel yourself be. Various shades of grey swirl across the globe's surface, then part. You are free, joined by 7 others, summoned by sacrificial source. The 8 of you rush forth as shadows, past the globe, past the man whose body now lies limp on the floor, past the jeweled walls. The vision ends just as you emerge from the cavern. This memory, it feels ancient, a lost place in a lost time. You turn away from the sunset, only to see that Stanley has dropped to one knee. He holds out a ring to you with a sheepish grin. Your hands fly up to cover your mouth, but too late to prevent a happy gasp of surprise from escaping. You didn't think he had it in him. You fall into another memory. You emerge from the crystalline caves, past the orange rubble jutting from the ground, and rise above a shimmering lake. Surrounding the lake is a throng of figures, your worshippers, our worshippers. They will deliver your rightful power to you. You will be as gods. The mob drops to its knees as one. The shimmering lake, once placid, begins to boil and bubble, draining source from every supplicant. The past fades into the present. You see through your own eyes once again. You keep your eyes shut tight, muttering rapid prayers to the 7. All around you is a cacophony of wails, whimpers and cries for help. You try to shut them out and pray with even more desperate fervor. A loud, inhuman roar suddenly cuts through the cacophony. You cover your ears with your hands and pray on. You tried to run. Your source collar was heavy around your neck. You slipped on the slick stone, and then they were on you, dozens of mouths feasting on your still living flesh. You tried to make a break for it, from Fort Joy to the beach. You didn't make it. You died to the sound of your own echoing screams as the void woke and gnawed your bones.
Sorcerer. Still wearing the collar, too. Is this where the flying void worker took those poor souls from the beach?
What are you doing? They're close. I can feel them. Run. For the love of the 7, run. There's no time. Run, you idiot. Run!
Oi! Where am I? Fine then. I never liked you anyway.
They fed me to their young. They chewed on my flesh as I screamed. They ate my flesh, and they want more. They want my sauce. I've seen them sucking up ghosts, swallowing them whole. They cannot be stopped. They cannot be destroyed. They are too many. You cannot fight them. They'll drag you down and there are too many of them.
Maybe? No. Maybe? No. Maybe? Oh, what's the use?
I wonder where the others might be.
I wonder where the others might be.
The dwarven woman hums to herself as she works with total focus and concentration. Her ears twitch at your approach, but she does not turn to you.
Yes.
What's this, woman? I know a bomb when I see it. Out with it!
Ah, one of Lohars, are you? You should know better than to stick your clumsy fat fingers in the Queen's secret operations.
Beast raises his fists in a rage. You're not sure whether he intends to crush the dwarf or the machine she's tinkering with. Beast's fists slam down hard onto the device. Shards fly from it in all directions, and a red light flickers on.
Looks like you've had some technical difficulties, eh?
I know what you look like. I'll report you. Queen Justinia will have vengeance. Ruined! That brute! If the vertices were aligned correctly, then my runes should... Oh! This is impossible!
The dwarven woman wrings her hands as she examines a contraption that looks broken beyond repair. Her ears twitch at your approach, but she does not turn to you.
Yes.
Her hand whips out and grabs your wrist like a vice.
It's broken already. And I don't think your touch is going to make it any more fixed. Though I'm not quite sure who you are or what business you have here.
She flinches in fear and begins to stammer an answer to you.
I was trying to fix up this delivery device. Same little beauty the Order used to wipe out the Black Ring, with a side order of elves, in the last war. But I'm afraid it's beyond repair now. Maybe the original maker can fix it. It delivers death fog, of course. This is a slightly modified version of what the Order used during the war. Queen Justinia's orders, of course. Can't really say any more than that to you. A lizard named Hanig. Crazy smart, crazy all round, really. She should get here from Paradise Downs any day now.
Good find.
The manifest said there was death fog. But there's no death fog here.
The thought of death fog gives you pause. A weapon like that should give everyone pause.
This scourge, this destroyer of my people should be wiped from the face of the earth.
I wouldn't use this garbage against my worst enemies. Some lines ought never to be crossed.
A weapon of untold destruction? And you use this against your own kind, knowing it ends their existence? How efficient.
Good find. The payload of the Peacemaker is here. I can feel its power.
You run through the caves as fast as you dare in the gloom. The outraged screech of the Voidwoken is not far behind. You run straight into something, almost bouncing off of it. A gate. A locked gate. You frantically try to climb over it, but it's too high. Claws envelop you and drag you into the darkness. You shut your eyes and try to block out the sensation of giant mandibles nuzzling your flesh. You hear it click-clack away. You daren't move, not after you saw what happened to the last one who tried to run. What do these things want? The spirit stares at you, through you. When she opens her mouth to speak, her voice seems to drift to you from far away, as if half-dreamed.
We keep the shipments here. That's what's meant for ships. It ends up in our carts, trundling away. Arks! The barrels are rolling all the way to Arks. And when they get there, the air will turn to screams. Dying, choking screams. It wafts on the wind. The black ring choked. Arks will choke. They will all choke. I should go. I should go. I suppose that I should go.
I've spotted something.
The angelic figure stands upon a mosaic that depicts a dragon, or a leviathan. Your eyes flutter closed, and you feel dragged down by a suffocating weight. You see what she sees, eternal darkness, heavy and fullegen-rich. dwarf sways in front of you. His eyes are unfocused, and he seems to be mumbling something to himself.
84 tankards of beer in a cave, 84 tankards of beer. Pick one up, tip back your cup, 80.
The ghost grasps at the handle of his mug and stares in confusion as his hand passes right through it.
4 tankards of beer. Oh no, that ain't right. Hey, what? I don't know what you mean. I'm just trying to get a grip is all. Just wanted one last tipple before I'm back on duty. I'll be down guarding Mordus. Gets cold down in that vault. Figured a drink or two to guard against the chill wouldn't hurt, eh? Is that fact? Well, now, that's a fine thing.
The ghost tries to pick up his mug again, fumbles, and stares at it in confusion.
Slippery little devil, ain't ya?
Made me alive. The little ones, once they burst out of their eggs, they ate me screaming. I don't understand. Why did this happen? Why wasn't the divine here to save me? Too little, too late. I'm already dead, and Rivellon's been on its own for too long now.
The spirit's hands are clamped firmly over her ears. Her mouth is firmly closed, and her eyes are squeezed shut. As you reach out, you hear a dry, crackling voice.
Kill the dwarves. They are not your friends. They are not your allies. They must die. They must all die. And when the eggs hatch, when beautiful life bursts forth, give yourself to it. Lay down your head and rest. Your duty will be done. Let them come. Do not fight it. Let them bite you. Let them feed.
You pull away with a jerk, gasping for breath. The dwarf whimpers a little in front of you.
Never thought I'd be relieved to die like that. If you hadn't come along, I would have been eaten by them damn hatchlings we were guarding. I wish I could tell you, but my brain ain't quite straight. It's still full of Mordus's fog. All I know is I were to guard those eggs with my life. And once they cracked open, I was to lay down my weapon and let them eat me. You spared me from that at least. Thank you. Be damned if I know. We had him locked up tight in the hole beneath his office, waiting for Loha's go-ahead before we threw him off the cliff. Then, the next thing you know, I hear this voice. His voice, telling me to kill. And my hand went for my dagger. Be damned if I know. Then, the next...
Lucky find. What's this? I found something.
And they fed. They devoured us. I couldn't stop them. I didn't think anyone could stop them. I would have said you had lost your mind, but...
She looks around the chamber, taking in the sea of cracked, broken eggs and dead voidwoken.
But perhaps there is hope.
can't hear nothing. Nothing but that voice. It won't stop, it never stops.
The dwarf starts to sob quietly, with his hands pressed over his ears. As you bring your blade down, the dwarf spins, his eyes turning deep, oily black. Your blade glances off his armor, leaving a long gash down his face. The ghost sways from side to side, the firelight flickering through the shade of what he used to be. The spirit reaches out to you. As you touch its hand, you see flashes of its past. You see a dwarf trying to sneak into a room filled with barrels, barrels covered in the marks of death. There is a distant shout, and he bolts, scrabbling for freedom. He's chased to an office, to a vault. Guards are posted as he cowers inside, and you wait for word from Driftwood. But the words you hear aren't the words you expected. You hear the dwarf's voice. You hear whispers of violence. You hear the screams of your friends. The ghost pulls back, exhausted, and the vision fades.
We nabbed Mordus trying to pinch a death fog machine. If I'd known this would happen, I would have just let him have it.
Nice.
The spirit twists and turns in front of you. It looks lost. It looks scared. It looks desperate. As your hand passes through the ghost, you feel its fear flow into you. You feel its confusion. You feel hands on the hard stone, ripped skin where the monster grabbed you. You're surrounded by darkness. You start to slowly creep forward. Your hand touches the floor. It's slick with something. There's liquid on the ground. It's wet. It's warm. Oh gods, you pray it's not blood. You summon your magic, and a tiny light flickers. You're kneeling in a clear pool of liquid. It isn't blood. You look up into dozens of eyes glittering in the dark. A long drip of saliva falls from the shadows. It isn't blood. You're flung from the vision, screaming ringing in your ears. Back in your own body, you double over, trying not to retch.
I must! My lord is not forgiving! Imagine me completing the ritual of Mordecai! My lord honors me!
made it all the way here, you creeping little maggots? Have you wriggled up to bow to me? Has Lohse sent you to beg forgiveness for his sins? My lord had faith. He came to me when Lohse failed the queen. And as a reward for my service, he has granted me his favor. He has granted me Mord. You will learn nothing. My lord has granted me power. I will never answer to another. You might not bow to me in this life, but maybe you'll bow to him in the next. him into the dirt.
Mine!
mercy!
The Master Sorcerer throws up his pocked, cracked arms to defend himself as you step forward. His skull twists into a mask of rage as you raise your weapon.
You scum! You heartless beasts! You...
The frail skeleton is still screaming obscenities when you bring your weapon down, caving in his skull. The jaw falls silent, dropping to the floor with a crack, and the pile of bones lies silent. Stares down at his broken, twisted body, a look of glum resignation on his face.
It ain't a pretty way to go. Mind you, could be a damn sight better than whatever Lohse would have done if he'd got his hands on us. Mind control or no, he'll be livid when he finds out what we did.
I'm so sorry. I didn't want to hurt you. I didn't want to hurt anyone. But he made me. That voice. He made me. I let him out of the vault. I killed anyone that got in the way. And then I sat here as he gibbered about needing to complete his bloody Mordus. Damned if I know. Some ancient ritual, he said. It gave him the power to twist our minds, to turn us into his puppets. And when he was strong enough, it turned him into... that. He thought it was a reward. Kept saying how blessed he was. What madness.
What's this? I found something.
Even dead, there are humans causing me trouble. You need something. Take a hike, Longshanks. Me and your belly button ain't got nothing to talk about. What's it look like? Either they were a void-woken attack, or this is the most unfortunate dinner party you ever did see. Now shove off. I've got an afterlife to enjoy, and your jabbering ain't making it easy. Walk on, heartbeat. I got nothing to say to you.
The dwarf pulls a dagger with shocking dexterity and reflexively swings at your gut. Thankfully, the ephemeral blade passes right through you. With a rancid look, the dwarf pockets the knife. As he does so, you see an elaborate seal on the handle. Through gritted teeth, the dwarf growls.
We're done here.
Don't worry about it, says Lohse. Quietest work around, says Lohse. Well, I don't see him here, cold as the stone he's lying on. It will be fine, my arse. And here I was, the fool, believing him.
The ghost swings a foot to kick its old body in frustration, but the boot sails straight through her corpse.
Because it's his fault. If not for him, I'd still be sitting there, wine in hand, happy as Larry. But no, he knew best. He wanted the death fog destroyed. That's why we were to make sure it got into the right hands. Our hands! I even stood guard of Mordus when he were doing nothing but the Queen's bidding. No wonder we came to this. This is what I deserve for following the orders of a leader with the spine of a sponge? Thank Duna Her Majesty has more steel in her belly than that coward. You're a little tool to be asking questions like that. Her Majesty is trying to do what's best for the dwarf people. And there's not a thing more you need to know.
The lock's melting away. Mordus turned the key into an amulet. Oh, cunning.
The angelic figure stands upon a mosaic that depicts a dragon or a leviathan. Your body is still, but your soul floats upwards. You see yourself when you look down, content, safe.
This must be the wreck of the Peacemaker. Some of her cargo may remain,